Mr. Kamal Kuti, IAS, former Election Commissioner, Government of Kerala, and presently the chairman of the Governing Council of the FACE Global Leadership School, Sri Amir Ali, principal of the FACE Global Leadership School, and most of all, my friend, Mr. Yaqub Faisi, founder and secretary of FACE Foundation. Dear staff members, faculty members of FACE World Leadership School, and most of all, dear young students, boys and girls. Today is a very important day for India. Today is a day when we celebrate our Independence Day. Today is India's 79th Independence Day. It is the 78th anniversary of India's independence. Let me wish you all youngsters, you and I have never been under a colonial rule. We were born free. So let me wish all of you youngsters the best wishes for India's Independence Day. We are all lucky, as I said, we've all been born free. Even I was born free. And none of us know really how terrible it is to have been born under a colonial rule, to be born in a form of slavery, when you didn't have freedoms of your own, when justice was served by somebody sitting in the British Isles. So today is a great day for us. It's a day when we should reiterate our freedoms, be proud of the independent India the country that India is. Today is also the day that we should remember those who fought for India's independence, which gave us these freedoms. There were many, many freedom fighters. I can only mention a few names here. We can't forget Mahatma Gandhi, who led the freedom struggle. He was unwavering in the struggle, and even when there were times of despair, he fought bravely, seeing that goal before him. There was Jawaharlal Nehru, there was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, there was Maulana Kalam Azad, and so many others. They spent years fighting for India's independence. Not 2 years, not 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40, 50 years. They spent a lifetime struggling for India's independence. Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you have spent even one day in a jail? That's a strange question to ask. I'm sure you have not, and I wish you never have to spend time in a jail. But do you know that our freedom fighters, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, and so many others spent many years in jail? You can't believe it. Most of you are 15 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old. Will you believe it if I told you that Jawaharlal Nehru spent 15 years of his life in jails? You and I are fortunate that we have not had to spend even 15 days, not even a day, not even an hour in a jail. Imagine spending all your lifetime, you must be 15 years old, some of you. Imagine spending all of your lifetime in a jail, in a British jail that too. Mahatma Gandhi spent 6.5 years in jail. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel spent 6 years in jail. 6 years is a long time. Spending 15 years in jail is a terribly long time. So we owe our freedom to the sacrifices that they made for us. And we should remember them today. We should remember Mahatma Gandhi, we should remember Jawaharlal Nehru, we should remember Vallabhbhai Patel, we should remember Kalam Azad, and so many others. Let's all remember them today. But most of all, we should also remember today the hundreds upon thousands, tens of thousands, lakhs of martyrs, simple people, people like you and me, common people who struggle for India's independence. Because it was not only the leaders who fought for us, they spent years in jail, but common people spent years and years in jail. They were beaten up by the British. Their faces, we don't know their names. Hundreds of thousands, lakhs of Indians came out into the streets, non-cooperated with the government, and fought for our independence. They gave up, many of them gave up their lives for India's independence. Bhagat Singh, there are so many names. They had to give up their lives for your freedom and my freedom. They gave up their lives so that you and I could be free. Now, we should also remember today on the 79th Independence Day, those thousands of faceless Indians who gave up their lives. They were beaten up by lathis. They were beaten up by batons. They were shot, they were killed. Their legs were broken. Their spines were crushed. Their heads were cracked. Ordinary Indians, like people like you and me, people like your father, your grandfather. So it is these sacrifices that have enabled us to get our freedom. So on the one hand, we have the leaders who fought for us, spent years in jail. On the other hand, we have common Indians, tens and thousands of them, who spent lifetimes in jail, who were killed, who were martyred, who were beaten up, and yet they struggled for India's independence. So that is, I think, the most important part of today, is to remember those who sacrificed their lives so that we could be free. Let us remember them, let us honor them, let us think of them today as we celebrate India's Independence Day. Today, as we celebrate India's 79th Independence Day, we honor those past sacrifices. But we honor not just those past sacrifices. We got our independence, and therefore we have a responsibility to the future. Today, therefore, it is your responsibility, it is our responsibility, it is my responsibility to shape the future, to give the next generation, to give your generation, the generations that follow, a better India than what India is today. True independence is not political freedom. We gained political freedom in 1947, but that is one part of our freedoms. True freedom is the ability of a nation to stand on its own strength, to be able to stand on its own strength intellectually, technologically, ethically. Ethics is very important in nation building, and socially. So that is what you must all strive for today, tomorrow, and in your future lives, especially young people like you. Therefore, you're all very lucky people. You're lucky youngsters. On the one hand, you're lucky to be born in a free India. And on the other hand, let me stress that you're also lucky because you are students. You're a part of the FAIZ World Leadership School. Because the FAIZ World Leadership School prepares you for the future in a way I think very few schools, very few schools, very few universities would prepare you for that. Therefore, you're doubly lucky to be born in free India, to be born in a developed India, and to be part of this institution, this FAIZ World Leadership School. Let me congratulate you for both of that. This World Leadership School, FAIZ World Leadership School, which you are now part of, is based on principles which will take India and you to a new tomorrow. That's the spirit behind the FAIZ World Leadership School. And let me congratulate you for that. Why do I say that you must be congratulated, that you must be felicitated? Because you're part of the FAIZ World Leadership School. The answer is very simple. I've been a part of this institution for the last few years, and I'm aware that this institution, the FAIZ World Leadership School, is built on 6 major pillars, 6 tenets, 6 principles which will take you forward. It's built on these 6 pillars, as you would call it, and those 6 pillars is what I'll try and describe very shortly to you. Firstly, the first pillar of the FAIZ World Leadership School is the knowledge capital that it's trying to build up. Knowledge is the key to tomorrow's future. We have moved from the Stone Age to the Iron Age, to the Industrial Revolution, to the world of knowledge. Today and tomorrow is a world of knowledge, and FAIZ builds up the knowledge capital for you. And how does FAIZ do that? FAIZ does it by many ways. FAIZ does it by inculcating the quest for knowledge in you. On the one side there is information, on the other side there's knowledge. It's process information that becomes knowledge, and FAIZ tells you how to process information to create knowledge. That's one part of it. Secondly, and I think this is more important and I'll underline it for you, FACE does it by ensuring that you get admitted to some of the best universities, not merely here in Kerala, not merely in India, but all across the world. And that's why we call it the FACE World Leadership School. It gives you a future career. It ensures your future career by admitting you, ensuring that you get admission to some of the best universities in the world, the best universities in India, the best universities in Kerala. Once you secure your admission there, you get scholarships for study, and that too FACE ensures. So it builds the knowledge base. Knowledge base is built here when you study 2 years here, and thereafter it's built by getting you admissions in some of the best universities across the world, across India, across Kerala. This opens for you the doors for leadership in academia, in research, in governance, and in society. You must remember, therefore, that for any nation and for you as individuals, education is the first pillar of a self-sufficient and progressive nation. So that is the first pillar of the 6 pillars of the FACE World Leadership School. And what is the second? We're living in a digital world. We're living in a world of technology. The FACE World Leadership School equips you for the global digital world of tomorrow, for the technology that is coming up tomorrow. You heard of ChatGPT, you heard about artificial intelligence. The world is changing very fast. And how is the world changing very fast? It's changing very fast because technology is changing very fast. Things that we could not have dreamed about 5 years ago, 10 years ago is already taking shape here today. Technology is changing fast. India's leadership in global technology will be driven by young innovators like you tomorrow. People like you who can think critically, who can act ethically and build boldly. You will be therefore the cutting edge of the new technological future that India has. And what does FACE World Leadership School do? It prepares you for that digital future, for that future of technology and innovation. And this is the strength of FACE's second pillar. So from artificial intelligence to ChatGPT to robotics, FACE students are trained in cutting edge tools of the future, and you will come out of the school prepared to face the world of technology, prepared to face the world of artificial intelligence. The third pillar on which FACE World Leadership School is built is preparing you for public leadership. It prepares you to understand what democracy is and provide you with a democratic backbone where you will defend democracy. Independence may be gained in 1947, but independence has to be defended right throughout. And it will help you to strengthen your democratic backbone. It will also prepare you for the civil services, for the IAS, for the IPS, for the Indian Revenue Service, the Indian Audit and Account Services, and so on. It also prepares you for competitive exam, not only in Kerala, not only in India, but right across the world. The world is a very competitive place today. And unless you're prepared for it, you can't reach the top of the competitive ladder. And what FACE does in its pillar of public leadership is not only creating good civil servants, but also enabling you to write other competitive examinations which will enable you to reach the top of your careers. It makes a leader out of you. India needs public servants who are like you, who are visionary, just, and deeply rooted in constitutional values. FACE's goal is to nurture you who are not only leaders, but who take pride in the nation that India is, the nation that we belong to. Take pride in India, that is Bharat. And the fourth pillar that FACE prepares you for is to provide you with leadership in the social sector. It's not only political leadership that's important, it's not only leadership in civil services that's important. What is also important is leadership in the social sector. Society has to change. Society has to develop and move forward. No nation building is complete without that social empathy. FACE creates social empathy in you through community projects and NGO work. Students learn here to lead from the grassroots, to empathize with the poor, to empathize with those who are marginalized, who are downtrodden, who are not be as educated as you, who can't speak as well as you do, who can't sing as well as you do. That's what FACE does. So it prepares you, it gives you an understanding of what social contribution is, of how to change society. That's what the fourth pillar of FACE is. The fifth pillar is entrepreneurship. No nation can develop without industries, without business, and it develops entrepreneurships in you, but not simply entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship often turns out to be something where you run after profits, you run after money. Money is important, profit is important. But along with profit, along with money, entrepreneurs in India, across the globe, should also have a social responsibility. You can't have an industry which destroys nature. You can't have an industry which cuts down forests. So on the one hand, entrepreneurship is important, but what FACE does is not only give you that edge in entrepreneurship, it also tells you the social responsibilities. It teaches you the social responsibilities that come with running a business, running an industry or enterprise. Every enterprise, every entrepreneur should be socially conscious. You can't destroy the environment when you build up profits, and that's what FACE does. Through developing a thinking that fosters finding solutions. Anybody can create problems, but only people like you, youngsters like you, can find solutions. FACE teaches you to find solutions. Not just careers. Careers are important, I have no doubt about that. But mere career is not what FACE does. Not mere career building, not merely writing competitive examinations, not merely joining the civil service. That's not the only goal that FACE has. The fifth pillar of FACE is to encourage you, teach you how to develop solutions and take initiatives that solve real life problems, real world problems. Solutions are important, and that's where I think FACE comes in with its fifth pillar. Students are trained to blend innovations with purpose, profit with responsibility. Profit should not come irresponsibly. It should come with, profit cannot come by killing people, by destroying the environment. Profit should come with responsibility. FACE teaches you to create ventures that uplift communities, helps the most downtrodden. That's the fifth pillar. And the final pillar, we call this FACE World Leadership School. Now, it teaches you, therefore, the sixth pillar is therefore extremely important, because FACE teaches you and prepares you for global leadership. There's leadership in your home, there's leadership in your school, there's leadership in your community, there's leadership in the state, there's leadership in the nation, but then you are meant for global leadership, world leadership. So FACE prepares you for global leadership. It makes you ambassadors of India. And who are ambassadors of India? Ambassadors of India are those who are able to tell others about India's ideals, India's history, India's ethics, India's culture, and India's abundant soft power, like yoga and others. FACE exposes students, therefore, to global platforms, to global communities. UN, for example. It tries and gets you UN fellowships. It sends you to youth assemblies. It makes you participate in model UN and shows you that when you're doing good for people, there are no frontiers. And yet, on the one hand, while FACE develops that global leadership in you, that world leadership in you, it makes sure that you are rooted in India. You are rooted in India's culture, you are rooted here in India's hoary traditions. Tomorrow's global platforms therefore arise from platforms, from classrooms like yours. From today's classrooms arise tomorrow's global leaders. And this classroom, FACE classroom, is one of the most important classrooms, platforms from which such global leaders arise. So we have a new name for it. We adopted that name at Oxford on the 11th, last Monday. the 11th of August, when we adopted that new name, FAIZ World Leadership School, it's not merely a name change. It's a change in vision. It's a change in thinking. It's a change in processes. It's a change in attitudes. Today, all of you, as students of the FAIZ World Leadership School, you should be very proud of yourself, because it's not merely a change in name. Your whole vision has changed. Your whole understanding of where you are has changed. So as India proudly celebrates its 79th Independence Day, FAIZ celebrates its first Independence Day under the new name of FAIZ World Leadership School. That's a tremendous coincidence. It's our nation's birthday on the one hand, Independence Day on the one hand, and we are celebrating today our first Independence Day as FAIZ World Leadership School. Congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to FAIZ and everybody else who made this possible. And therefore today, as students of FAIZ World Leadership School, you must reaffirm your commitment to being a leader, a global leader, a national leader, a global leader rooted in India, who will not only succeed personally, you must all succeed personally. Your personal success is important, but that's not enough. When you succeed personally, you should also serve nationally and act globally. That's very important. Personal success is what we are all striving for, you are striving for, I am striving for. But along with that personal success, you should be able to serve India, serve the nation, and at the same time act globally. Let me conclude. On the 79th Independence Day, let me wish India, let me wish every Indian everywhere in the world a very happy and tremendously great Independence Day. Most of all, let me wish all of you youngsters, young people, a very bright future, a very bright career. You're lucky, as I said in the beginning, to be part of the FAIZ World Leadership School. You're all meant to be national and global leaders. And therefore, I would suggest that today, when we proudly celebrate India's 79th Independence Day, you should join me when you should repeat after me what I say now. Firstly, Jai Swatantra Divas. All of you loud. Jai Swatantra Divas. I can't hear you. Loud. Okay, Jai Independence Day, if that's better. Jai Independence Day.
Jai Independence Day.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind.
Jai Swatantra Divas.
Jai Swatantra Divas.
Jai Independence Day.
Jai Independence Day.
Jai Hind.
Jai.
Thank you so much for listening to me very patiently. Wishing you a bright, bright careers. Jai Hind once again.